Hello, my name is Sean, and today I'll be doing a tutorial on Forget Enigma. So, what we gotta do for this module? Well, all I have to do is, first we need to build our Enigma. And to do that, we're going to use the configuration screen at the top. So this one is a reflector. This would refer to the left or bottom rotor. This is the middle rotor, and this is the top/right rotor. So starting with the right/top, we're going to copy the letters. First things first though, excuse me here. First things first, I have a keyboard up here, which is already initialized. So first you write down the keyboard, which is going to be A through Z. Then from there, you're going to take your top rotor, top/right, and just copy this down. And then for each asterisk letter I'm going to do is I'll just lowercase them, J and W. This will be very important. Okay, and we do the same for the middle and the leftmost rotor. So for 2, we're going to copy this, place it on top of that, and you can copy both rows too, but the second row is just basically A through Z alphabetized with 2 asterisk letters. So our asterisk letters here is E, I'm going to lowercase that, and R, which I'm going to lowercase that right over there. And then finally our third rotor is going to be 1, so 1 is up here. I'm just going to copy this. And our asterisk is going to be D and Q. And that's Dairy Queen. And then finally, at the very bottom is going to be where the reflector sits. So, and the reflector type here is C. So C would be this one right here, but I already got a couple of these already made out. So all I gotta do is copy this one right down here and post it up right there. There we go. So now we got our keyboard right there, our 3 rotors, and our reflector. Next, we're going to need to shift the rotors so it equals the letter values here. And these letter values refer to the letter values down here. So on the bottom row, we need to get the leftmost letter to turn into V. So we're going to take V here, and I'm just going to copy, paste like so. Making sure I do the same with the top row, so everything stays in its wires. And I do the same thing for the middle and the left/bottom rotor. So I'm going to make sure D is on the left, copy and paste these. So, alright, and then finally our third rotor is at B, so all I'm going to do is E, A, so, and just erase these 2. There we go, now we got V, D, and B. Or in this case, right to left, V, D, B. So, after doing that, we're going to take the lit letter here, and we're going to follow these instructions to use it. So take the lit letter and find it on the keyboard here, which should be A through Z. So V is over there. So then you go straight down from the keyboard to the top row of the rotor, which is going to give us N. Then you find N in the second row of that rotor and go straight down, which is going to take us to Y. Then you find Y in that second row, go straight down, and takes us to B. Find B in the, second row, bottom row, and you go straight down, which turns into A. Then you go straight directly down again to get to E, which is going to pop up right there because AE, AE. It just, the reflector is supposed to just reflect the letter right back into a different place. So after finding AE and then going back AE, we're going to go straight up, which is going to take us to F. Then We find F on the top row and go straight up, which is going to take us to F again. Find F in the top row, go straight up, takes us to O. Then find O in the top row, go straight up, which is going to give us H. And H is going to be our decrypted letter. Now, for every time you solve a module, the rotors are going to turn and the letter is going to change. So I'm going to start by solving this one, and you'll see it. So first you'll see stage 1 and you see BDV. Pay attention to the rightmost rotor and the number here. You see that the stage number increments and the rightmost rotor has incremented up. Every time a rotor turns, it always increments by 1. So it will step from V to W, A to B, G to H, and then when it reaches Z, it turns back to A. There's also another rule with stepping. So because of the rotor's turning, we got to change this into our newly formed rotor. So we got to take D and V over there, and then erase D and V over here. And now the asterisk is on the leftmost side. So I'm going to show you what happens when that happens. All right? So we're going to take our newly founded letter. So we're going to do this again. Find P on the keyboard. Go straight down, takes us to I. I takes us to C. C takes us to E. E takes us to D, which goes to O. So D, O takes us to P. P takes us to V. V takes us to Q. And finally, Q takes us to N. And that's our decrypted letter, which is N. So let me solve another module. Here's another detonate. But now here comes a special rule here. See, now the leftmost letter on the rotor, at least the leftmost letter, is an asterisk. And because it's an asterisk, what's going to happen is, because it's the top / rightmost rotor, not only is it going to step itself by 1, but it's going to step the middle rotor by 1. And that only happens on asterisk cases, nothing else. So when we solve a module, we're going to shift bow. So this should turn from BDW to BEX. BEX. So let me solve a module, and you can see right from here. See, it turns into BEX. So not only do we have to change CW right over there, but I also got to change this one to K and D. All right. So now we take our new letter, which is going to be P, go down to straight R. R is going to take us to O. O over here is going to take us to T, and T is going to take us to S, which is B, and then SB over there takes us to C. If I can find C, takes us to B, B takes us to C, and finally C takes us to Z. So Z is our decrypted letter. Now, the middle rotor is on its turning step here, or known as the asterisk letter, is on the leftmost side. Now, you would think, because we need to get all the way to its next turning step on the rightmost rotor, we have to wait to that point for all 3 of them to change. That's not the case here. If the middle rotor's asterisk letter is on the leftmost side, on the next solve module, all 3 of these are going to take a step. So this is going to change to C, F, Y. So let me find another, there's none other, so you're just going to have to look right here. Yo. You see here, it turns into CFY. So now we got to change all 3 rotors. So this is going to turn MX, right there. And this is going to change to SE. Take that. And finally, KB. And there we go. We finally got that through. So now we have to translate R. So again, we start at the very top, find R here. goes straight down, takes us to L. Find L, goes straight down, take us down to Z. Find Z, which is over here, goes straight down, takes us to B. Find B, goes straight down, takes us to Z. Just going to do W, so ZW. It's going to translate, goes straight up, takes us to Y. Y takes us to R. R is where? R is going to take us straight up to Z. And Z is going to take us to H. So next one is H. And then you just keep doing this module. So we'll do just one more here. So stage 5, we gotta make sure we change our things. So this is W, Y, and B, Z. There we go. And we do the same thing. So first find J. J is up there. Goes straight down, takes us to Y. Find Y. Straight down, takes us to S. Find S. Takes straight down, takes us to H. Find H. Take us straight down to find F. Straight down to find Q. Find Q over there. Just go straight up to take us to S. Find S. Take straight up to take us to V. Find V. If I can here. V is always the hardest for me. There's V goes straight up to take us to R, and R goes straight up, takes us to N. I see a bit of a pattern for me. So far it's been H and Z, and now it's gonna be H and Z again, right? So I'm gonna solve a couple modules now, and hopefully I'm doing this right. So I'll see you guys in a quick second, all right? And we're back. So I'm about to solve the last module here. We just got to 19 stages, and I've decrypted the answer to be this. So I'm going to hold on to this, and there we go. So when, after all the modules have been solved, excuse me, it will basically, one, the letters will be no longer lit anymore, and then the rotors are actually also completely blank. So I'm gonna press our answer now, which is H. You hear a little bit of sound. N, Z, H, N, U, C, Zulu, Q, I forgot which stage. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So C again. Okay, C, U, J, B, F, J. So B, F. And in fact, I'm gonna do a strike here. So F, I'm gonna press K.
Why?
When you get a strike, it will show the rotors at that configuration and the letter that was flashing. So now I'm gonna press J now, because that's the correct answer. Then A, M, J, and then C.
This was exactly right now. Things were meant to happen.
So let me just go over a few rules of that rotor turning, just in case if you didn't get that clear. If the middle rotor's asterisk letter is on the leftmost side, then all three rotors are going to take one step, all three of them. However, otherwise, if the rightmost rotor or the top rotor's asterisk letter is on the leftmost side, then only the middle and the right rotor, or the middle and top rotor, are going to go up one step. Otherwise, on the next module solve, only the rightmost rotor is going to take one step. So the tutorial is going to end here, and I'm going to show you how a real Enigma machine works. So I'm just going to boop, boop, boop. Whole screen, please. There we go. Nice and dandy. So we can continue out of that, and I think we can close out of that. Come on. I know you can do it. Alright. Oops. Alright. And let's find Enigma. Just right there. So this is an Enigma simulator. Now, the manual for this is going to differ a bit different from my own thing. I think it's this one. Yes. So here you can find the wirings over down in the bottom here. If I can go down. Here's the wirings right here. And notice you also see beta and gamma. I decided not to add those in. But I did include exactly rotor 1, rotor 2, 3, all the way to 8, exactly as written on these wirings. The difference I did was the paddling, which is seen right here. You'll see the turnovers each one. And what I did was I turned them from single paddles to double paddles. So instead of having just Q as the paddle, I have D and Q as the paddle. And the same thing with E. Instead of just having E as the paddle, I turned it to E and R. And I also made sure the paddles was 12 apart from each. So each 13th letter was a paddle. And I changed the Z and M as well. So let's see. The Z and M was featured in 5, and then I changed the rest of 6, 7, and 8 to different paddles to give it some more variety. The reflectors here, you'll see the wiring of the reflectors right here. They're actually labeled as B and C, and you have B thin and C thin. The B thin and C thin are only used in 4 rotor Enigmas. If I were to show you right now what this looks like, this is the original that I based it off on. And if I were to do the turnovers here, right now, let me check what this is. It's 1, 2, and 3. So let me see here. 1, 2, and 3. So 3's step turnover is at V. So I can keep doing that, or I can do... I passed it. Where is it? It's TU V. So if I were to have it here, you see it takes a step, and then once I press it again, you notice the middle rotor and the right rotor now took 1 step. All right? And as for the double step thing I was talking about, let me show you this. So the doubles, let's see, the step for 2 is E right here. So I'm going to shift this to D. So when I press a button, it's going to change both the middle and right rotor, because this rightmost rotor was on its turnover step. But if I press it again, this is going to change from AEW to BFX. Because of how the paddles worked, whenever the middle rotor was on its turnover step, on the next button press, it changes all 3 of them. Well, it changes its leftmost rotor and itself. But in that case, so I can keep doing this. So BFX, CFY. And it doesn't matter where it is, at least the rightmost rotor is. As long as if the middle rotor is on its turnover step, it's going to turn all 3 of them. So hopefully you get a bit of an understanding of how rotors worked, because that's probably going to be the most confusing thing as opposed to decrypting it. And as for, let's see, there's also one other thing that you could do, but I didn't include it because that would make this Forget module to be absolutely complicated, as if it wasn't complicated already. So if I go to over here, you'll notice there's a plug board. And these plug boards refer to the letters on the keyboard here. So right now, Q and W, all right? So Q and W is equal to 1 and 2. So if I do here and here, you notice it will switch Q and W up. So let me actually get a different one. Yeah. So, I guess I can't do it like that, so that's going to be like so. Let me switch this. I think there it is. Aha, I found it. Success. All right, so you can see I can switch the letters by tapping on one and tapping on the other. And this will basically be literal like string wires that comes out on the front of the Enigma machine. And all it does, it switches it. And the whole mechanism behind it, let me show you. Let me just drag this over here. So here's how the whole mechanism works. So first, you type in something. What's going to do, it's going to go from that keyboard, and it's going to go straight to the plug board right here. So when I press A here, it's going to go straight from here to A right over here. And then from here, it's going to switch. Oh, I notice I have another wire here, so I'm going to switch from A to U. And then it's going to actually send the signal U into these rotors. And this whole scrambling mechanism, as you saw there. So U turns into another letter, then that letter turns into another one, and then the reflector at the very end reflects the letter and goes straight back through the rotors again, comes back out. Now, if that letter is A or U in that context, what's going to do is going to go right through and go through the plug board yet again to see if it needs to switch. If it's a U, it's going to turn to A, and if it's an A, it will turn back to U. And you can have a crap ton of just a lot of configurations, as you can imagine. So let me just get rid of these. And then finally, after it switches, it goes right through goes right back and hits a light on one of these lights here. And that is the Enigma machine. Took me a while to make this module, though I had to work a lot of dedication to get this to work. And I think another person is working on it. And for you, sir, I'd have to say, just keep working on it. You know, get that module to work. I want to see that module. You know what I like to see? I like to see the full-blown Enigma machine. Just absolutely full-blown here. With all the paddles that I've shown you. With this, you know, with all these turnovers right over here. Being exact. With, excuse me here. With having possibly maybe make it into a 4-rotor Enigma machine. That would be interesting. Yeah, let me show you this. This thing is a beast. And what you do for this one is you set it either to beta or you set it to gamma. Those are the only two configurations that you have. And you'll see the beta and gamma wirings right over here on this far right. And look at this beast. A 4-rotor Enigma machine. So, what I like to see is, one, make it 4 rotors. Be absolutely convoluted as possible. Or, you know, don't. It's fine either way. Next up, I would highly suggest get the right paddles into place. So, like these turnover steps that you see here, make sure these turnovers are like so. And not only that, but I would also love to see how the plug board could be implemented into this. So that when just randomly have letters be connected to other letters. And you can have as basically a random number between this and that for the plug board. I would love to see that. But, you know, until next time, guys, keep talking and don't explode.